G'day guys, so I've been going to the hardware store a bit lately and I picked up a whole bunch of carabiner type things. So I figured, why don't we just whack them in the old hydraulic pull tester and see how strong they are. So here's a bunch of snap hooks, they're actually called. Snap hook slash carabiner. Sometimes, the labeling isn't consistent, but they're all sort of rope or chain connector kind of things. And these ones are all from the hardware store. Now I'm going to throw in one from the climbing store as well, just as a comparison. But believe it or not, there is going to be method to my madness. I'm not just trying to, see how strong is this little keychain thing here. As usual, I'm going to try and demonstrate the principles behind how I choose these things and like what to look for if you're out buying these things. I'm not looking to tell you, is Zenith brand going to be stronger than Taskmaster brand, because there's a billion different brands out there. I'm just going to try and demonstrate the principles that I use when choosing this kind of stuff for different applications. And of course, because I'm a betting man, a man of science, we've got to have a hypothesis about what we reckon is going to happen. So I think basically this is the order they're going to break in. I think the climbing carabiner will be the strongest. Stainless steel, second strongest. This thing kind of bit less than that one. And then the mild steel snap hook, and then these two. These two I think will actually be the same, but we'll see. Let's hit it. First up is this one, snap hook carabiner by Taskmaster. This one is aluminium. It is very light. And I know straight away this one is going to be very, very weak because of that. Look at the nose. There is nothing connecting the nose to the gate. So this is essentially a hook. It does not matter in terms of strength if it's open or closed, unlike a proper carabiner. All right, so I've got our test sample set up right there in the test rig. If you haven't seen this before, we've got an indicator there. Lower number is the peak, upper number is the current. Hilti box is just to, lift it up. But hey, Hilti, if you're watching, I will totally take some free stuff to test. Then up here we've got a hydraulic ram. That's just pulling against the frame. And then in this box here is the hydraulic pump. It is electric and it is very loud, so that's why I keep it in that box. Underneath there, we've got a 50 kilonewton load cell, which is the base of the anchor. That's what's holding that whole end of the system on. But 50 kilonewtons is 5 tons. I reckon this thing is going to break 50 kilos, 60 kilos. I don't know. We'll see. So I got to ease this up. It's going to be weak. Yeah, not too bad. So next up is basically the same thing, aluminium carabiner, but it's got a screw gate on it. This thing can lock. You can lock the gate on here. Same brand, still no actual, hook or anything on the nose there. This one is obviously a bit more secure if you're worried about stuff falling out of it. You're using it as a keychain or something, but really, that's pretty crap. It's not going to help very much at all, I don't think. Anyway, let's see how it goes. What? Now this is zinc plated, this is steel, and it is the first one we've got where it actually has some attachment of the gate and the nose. So if that's closed, it should be more or less a ring kind of thing. So it should be a fair bit stronger than any carabiner that does not have that. That said, in our last pull test episode, we had that same kind of thing in actually a slightly bigger size coming out of Vivor, advertised for climbing, broke it like 5-6 kilonewtons. So absolutely appalling. The thing with zinc plated stuff like this is, it's going to be mild steel, and mild steel, you don't know what grade it could be. It could be high tensile, very, very strong, or it could be total crap. So basically you don't know, but it is going to be stronger if the gate is closed. So the zinc one is also the only one with any markings on it. So see that? So can you see that? It says SWL, so safe working load, 350 pounds, 8mm. So pounds and millimeters, bit weird seeing that together, but it's a very generic old design. So safe working load, that is out of date, partly because the word safe in there. Even if this is loaded with 350 pounds, you can still misuse it. You can still be unsafe with this thing. So that's why they got rid of that. Nowadays they'll say working load limit or something like that. So yeah, having these markings, they're kind of old and they're outdated and they're not that useful. But hey, I reckon some markings better than no markings because it means they've at least thought about it a bit rather than just bending a thing into like a keychain shape. So anyway, let's see how strong she is. Oh, okay. Better. Now, stainless steel. So this would be my choice for basically anything, you know. More expensive, but as long as the price isn't bothering you, this is actually gonna hold up, I think. I haven't tested it yet, but we'll see. So it's got that same style key lock kind of situation going on there. So that will be stronger when it's closed than open. But the reason why I think this is going to be nice and strong is that it's made of stainless steel. So does it say? Yeah, so see 316, see down there it says 316 marine grade stainless steel. So 316 is the corrosion resistance of the steel. It's not the strength. So if we take a look at some other stainless components, see these nuts here, that one at the bottom there it says A470 and that one says A480. A4 means 316 marine grade stainless, just a different term for it. 70 is 700 MPa, 80 is 800 MPa. So high tensile steel is around 800 MPa. So that means basically stuff made of that will be high tensile and stuff made of that will be slightly less than high tensile, but still way stronger than any, you know, random unmarked mild steel. This is what most climbing bolts are made of. So let's whack her in the tester, see how she goes. Now this one, it actually looks like a climbing carabiner. It is not though, it is actually made of steel, so see the magnet on there, compared to an actual climbing one, aluminium, stainless steel, not magnetic. So this one, very heavy, it does have a wire gate. Now it may be strong because it's steel, but this is still probably going to be a hook. I don't think that gate is actually going to engage at all. I think that's just going to lift away because you can see that there's nothing really going to keep the gate in that nose once this starts lifting up. So unlike the little rated one, that is pretty hooked in there. This one, I really don't know. It could be strong because it's steel and basically the tension is going to stretch it out like a pretty strong hook, but I don't think that'll be as strong as like a proper carabiner. Anyway, let's give her a shot. Ah, interesting. So believe it or not, this is a proper climbing carabiner. It's really small. Use it for if you're racking up lots and lots of gear. But the main thing is you can see that it's got all of these different markings on it. So more markings to me is always a good thing because it shows that they're actually at least caring enough to make it like a good counterfeit. Now, if you buy proper gear from a proper store, like climber gear from a climber store, you should have no worries about, you know, counterfeit carabiners or anything. So the markings, CAMP. CAMP is an Italian climbing gear manufacturer. Nano, that's just this really tiny climbing carabiner. At the top there it says CE0123. CE marks are often self-reported. They don't really carry that much weight, but it's better than having no marking at all. Now these little ones up here, some kind of batch date codes. That really good because that means they're actually tracking batch by batch. You know, none of the other ones we had any of that crap on there. Now, the way you tell it's at least a half decent carabiner is because it'll have this kind of stuff written on it. So KN, that is kilonewtons, that is a measure of force. You say force because unlike lifting gear, so see like this shackle, that says 2 tons on it. That's because this is for lifting loads, lifting stuff up to 2 tons. Kilonewtons, that is force. That means these things are not designed for lifting, but for, say, catching a falling climber. That's generating force, that's not lifting a weight. So that's why we use kilonewtons, measure of force. Then you'll see 20, so then you'll see the arrows, so that's this way. Long axis, so that's proper loading, is 20 kilonewtons, so about 2 tons of weight. Then a little arrow across, 7 kilonewtons, so that's if it flips up and it gets pulled this way, sideways, then that's 7 kilonewtons. And then the last one is if the gate's open, 7 kilonewtons again. So, you know, that's why you don't say a safe working limit on here, because it's like 1/3 of the strength if the gate's open. Not very safe. And then UIAA, so that means it meets the standards of a big important climbing federation. So anyway, let's see how this goes compared to all that other crap. Come on, baby, more than 23. Damn. Now that's a proper break. And a bonus carabiner. This is actually from the hardware store too, but it is from their safety equipment section. So if you're a roofer or a rope technician or something, you would have carabiners too. They're just not for climbing, although this is aluminium. It's basically just a regular climbing carabiner, more or less. Very simple, but it is from the hardware store. So if we look up here, that is a key lock. So that is a non-snag kind of feature. So it doesn't have a hook on the nose. It's a screw gate, so you can screw that up and you lock the gate so it doesn't come open. Nice big carabiner for fitting all your stuff through. And it's got some nice markings here too. So we've got 0617, I guess, you know, that's the date. June 2017 is the batch it was made, I suppose. Then we've got the CE mark. This one only has 23 kilonewtons, so that's only when it's closed and when it's being loaded lengthways. So that's interesting. But this here, how it says EN362, that must be for fall arrest stuff, not for recreational climbing stuff. Because if it was recreational, it would have the 3 directions, you know, 23 this way and like 7 sideways and all that. And it would say something else here. It would have some other climbing standard mentioned here. So this one isn't for climbing. I would totally use it for climbing though, because it's basically just been tested to a different standard. You know, dudes falling off roofs or whatever. Okay, gate is closed. Nice. Okay guys, so there's all our results in order of strength. No major surprises here, but I was wrong about this one. It did end up being stronger than that one, but hey, can't win them all. So the aluminium ones, as predicted, because they've got nothing connecting these two, they just straightened out. No actual breakage. The zinc-plated steel, so actually didn't break. It kind of just bent those little hooks there. And then, yeah, the stainless steel, that held almost a ton. Very nice. So out of these little 8mm snap hooks, all exactly the same size, stainless steel was hands down the strongest. It was actually the little pin that held the gate on. That one, it just snapped off. From all these, you can see that once you have an actual connection between the nose and the gate, something's going to have to break. They're not just going to straighten out usually. So moving up, we got about 20 kilonewtons. That's basically what that's rated for. This one, actually pretty strong. As predicted, that gate didn't actually stay on the nose at all, but it is basically a big steel hook and took a bit to kind of straighten it out. 23-ish kilonewtons there. And of course, the big proper carabiner rated to 23 kilonewtons, broke around 30. So what we can see here is from the 2 actual proper climbing sort of carabiners, for them to break, they've got to fully break, you know? Usually with just cheaper hooky sort of stuff, they're not fully connected on that side, so they will usually just straighten out. But with proper carabiners, you know, they're designed so that both sides actually take the load, and that means both sides have got to break usually to actually make the whole thing fail. If I just had any general application, you know, price not being a major concern, I would just go the stainless steel. These all just cost a few bucks at our hardware stores here. But of course, some hardware stores do have actual kind of proper rated safety equipment like this one. And I think I got that in a packet of 2 for $10. And something else I didn't really mention was the whole idea of working load limits. You know, on some of these they'll have braking strains listed because they're for a different application. Stuff that you use for lifting, like you might, you know, put this on a crane or whatever to lift something heavy. They'll do it differently, so they'll say working load limit, and that's 0.75 ton. Working load limit is just what you can lift with this all day, every day, without it, you know, breaking or fatiguing or whatever. Usually a working load limit is like 1/5 or 1/10 of its actual braking strain. And as we saw here, I actually used this in all of these tests here, up to about 23 kilonewtons. So that's triple the working load limit, and, you know, still works fine. But if I were to load it up to 23 kilonewtons, repeatedly, eventually that'd fail. You know, that's why with lifting gear, working load limit, a lot smaller. All right, well, there you go, guys. Hopefully that was something a bit different and also interesting for you, because after all, snap hooks and carabiners are not new, but there are more and more of these things just available on, you know, Amazon and whatever. So hopefully this has been a good way to see the kind of things that you can look for to maximize your chances of getting something good. One broke around 1 kilonewton, the other broke around 9 kilonewtons. Very, very big difference. But if you know what kind of things to look for, you should be able to maximize your chances of actually finding something decent. Now, of course, that's for general connector applications, you know, tying down straps or on your trailer or whatever. If you're actually looking for climbing gear, go for proper climbing gear. You know, I've done a bit of carabiner work here. Obviously, some of the other channels out there have too. But if there's something in particular you want to see, just let us know in the comments. Otherwise, if you just want to buy some proper climbing gear, you can check out the How Not To store. If you use the promo code in the description, you'll get 10% off your first order, and you'll help support my channel. But for now, I reckon that'll do us. So yeah, like and subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers right now, and once I hit 1,000, then I actually start getting a cut of the ad revenue for this channel. So please make sure you subscribe, you know, tell your friends and everything. And as usual, if there's anything specific you want to see, just let us know in the comments. You know, it's possible I'm already planning to do it. Hell, maybe I already have done it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll scratch you later.